Oh, sucky now. Hey, everybody. It's Thursday, October the 13th, 2022, and you are in for an all-new Heffron and Reep show. Woo! Thursday night, hour of power, baby. What is Heffron and Reep? Well, I don't know what this is. I'm new to you guys. What is that? Well, I'm Jon Reep, and my friend John Heffron. This is our show, Heffron and Reep. 2 winners of Last Comic Standing, 2 road dogs, journeyman, lover of the 80s, and, no politics, no Putins, no pandemics, just pure pleasure, sometimes promo codes. And we like to talk about, basically, we just talk about comedy, the state of comedy, what's going on in the comedy world, that kind of stuff. Real quick before I bring in Heffron in here, I'm going to plug a tour date. November the 3rd through the 5th, Jacksonville, Florida. I'll be at the Comedy Zone. Come see me there. And you need to check out heffronandreep.com. Go to heffronandreep.com. All of our tour dates are right there. John's got a tab for his tour dates. I got a tab for my tour dates. We got a Patreon page. We got merchandise. And we love our Patreons. We give them shout-outs. Brenda Sachs, Steve Dean, Joey Ellis, Shane Flint, Bob Haynes, Rick Sanford III. Love you all. And we could use some new Apple Podcast reviews. We don't have any new ones for a long time. That helps our rating. Even though we are ranked number 1, according to the World Podcast Federation, we still need help with the rating in terms of reviews. So if you go to the Apple Podcast and review us, give us 5 stars, write whatever, we'll read it on the show. You can make me or John say something totally stupid. You write anything you want, we'll say it, but you got to give us 5 stars. All right? Now, what do you guys say? Here's what we're going to talk about today. There was a comedian who got kicked off of a cruise ship for saying the N-word allegedly. Okay? That's a very important word, guys. Allegedly. Then another comedian got a beer thrown at her at a comedy club, and we're going to get into all of that today, plus more, but let's not waste any more time. Let's get my compadre, my cohort, my buddy, my pal, the other John. I'm talking about John Heffron, ladies and gentlemen. Where's he at? Bam!
oh, little Jane. What adventures are you going to get into this holiday? Who makes the best gingerbread? What does your grandma say? She said she can make a gingerbread house. I can make them with candies, red and green, blue and yellow. I can make little gingerbread girls and gingerbread fellows.
Wow, John, that looks like a great book.
Brand new book out, just out. Look at this, in time for Christmas. How many of these, are you not impressed by how many of these children books that I banged out?
You've cranked out 3 or 4, haven't you?
We're on 4. Look up here. This is in time for the holidays.
What a
Grandma
nice
Makes Gingerbread Houses, available on Amazon. It's going to be Prime Day soon. We have 4 of these books. Look at it's got one of these. It's got a barcode like a real book.
Yeah.
It's got just random. Look at that happy.
Wow.
Look at that happy family.
Where can people buy these?
On Amazon, and then leave reviews on that. People like it.
Wow.
Also, let me just plug some real quick. New special on my YouTube page, which is YouTube/comedian John Heffron. The reviews are good. You know how usually YouTube reviews are, I hope you die in a terrible accident. I hope you burn. And, their thing. But they're actually like, who is this guy? He's really funny. He should be. It's weird.
Well, you mean just the comments below the video?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, they're actually good. So I was scared to look at them. But just go there, and then I'm trying to. There's a social media thing, John. I don't know if you heard about it. It's new.
What is it?
So I'm trying to amp up the what all the kids are doing.
All right.
What is that? I'm like on
social media. I'm not familiar.
Yeah. Although, have you ever seen any of Madonna trying to do social media? It makes me want to not do any of this.
Yeah.
I mean, like she's trying so hard
Yeah.
that it just makes you go, why am I even doing this?
Today's Thursday, but Tuesday, it was National Coming Out Day, right? And so she had to post something about how she's coming out as full-on lesbian or something. I didn't read the whole thing, but as I read it, I'm thinking, oh, it looks so desperate. Like, I need more attention. Look at me. You know, it looks bad and desperate, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the stuff she was trying to lip sync something. You know how people do that.
Oh.
But her face is so Botox, it's literally like if she was lip syncing it like this, where you didn't even know.
Right.
You didn't even know what she was saying.
Yeah, she posted something of like showing off her grill, like some fake teeth one time, just doing something like that.
She's like 60. Age doesn't matter. Let me take that back. You can be any age and show your grill and have a good time. But just at what level do you get to stop?
Right. You feel like she's earned the right to just coast and be comfortable and just be the Madonna that we remembered. And it looks like she's chasing the youth when we know she's old. You know, something weird about that.
Yeah, because we have to chase the youth or be on this stuff, or we won't sell tickets.
Right. We should be chasing the youth. But I feel like, because neither one of us have had Botox, right? So it's not like we're trying.
I'm going to wait till I'm 55. I think I will get it at some point.
Yeah. I might.
I don't see you ever needing it, dude. Because you have your beard and your thing. Your beard helps.
My eyes can be a little baggy sometimes. But
baggy, but you don't got, I mean, I got this thing going. You know what I mean? Like I got, like my face is starting to like droopy dog it.
But have you ever seen someone, have you ever seen a young person who got Botox too early in life? And then when you look at them, you subconsciously you're thinking, well, she must be older because why would a young person get Botox? So in a weird way, it works against you. Like if you're like 25,
right,
and you go get your lips done, but you can tell that those are not her natural lips. In my brain, I don't go, that's a 25-year-old. Go, that's like, she's probably 35.
Yeah.
Because why would you do that at that young age?
I started to dye my hair, and I saw a picture of my hair pre-dyeing, pre-dye, and it was super gray and peppery. I'm like peppery, but now it's kind of not. I don't know. I mean, it's just.
Let me see what you got.
I mean, it's not. But
it's
anyway,
a good mix. It's a good mix.
But now I'm stuck. I think having to dye it like all the time now. So it's a slippery slope. If you start to do something, then you gotta then have to do it.
Yeah, like you know Jon Cryer, the actor from. Right. What was that? The sitcom he was in with Charlie Sheen. Oh God,
Charles in Charge. No, man, 2.5 Men.
2.5 Men.
Yeah.
Well, Jon Cryer was losing his hair, going bald for a long time, and what he would do though on the show was he would do that spray, right?
Yeah.
And then put the other stuff in it to make it bulky or whatever. And then when he didn't do it, like when he would go out with his family or he wouldn't do it, you know, he just did it for the show, but in real life he didn't do it. And you see pictures of him out at the beach or something, like he is totally bald back there. He's just got the ring of hair.
Right.
But you know, so it's funny, like you see a guy with hair one day and the next day no hair, it could be like, whoa, what happened? I need to grade old gracefully, easily, not all at once. But I know what you're saying. Also, real quick, John, because we're getting the comment section, I want to let everyone know we do see your comments. It's just I'm not going to read them right now. New thing we're going to do, we're going to ignore your comments and we're going to read them next week. And how you know we're going to do that, I'm going to read comments right now from last week.
That's how it goes. So low. Okay, I got it.
Right. So David Swift, he said, so glad I found your podcast. Dig your comedy, sirs. So that's nice. Thank you, David Swift. You get a little shout out. Sean Hudson, what about the anchor that used a condom? LOL. Remember last week we talked about the news lady put the condom on the microphone. He's referring to what about the anchor who used it? So he's making a joke like maybe it's a used condom. But she hooked up with the anchor. And that's an old one. She just, I already got it in my pocket because I save them.
I'm sure they're professionals and there's HR at that company. I'm
Right.
sure she would do not such a thing.
But I appreciate a good effort at comedy. Thank you, Sean Hudson. John can agree. Can agree. He said, "My sister." Here's what I do, John. I read the words that they wrote. I'm not going to correct them. These are the words.
Okay.
My sister is a breast cancer server.
Okay.
That's bad. We don't need people out there serving breast cancer. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you meant to say survivor, congratulations. I'm happy to hear that.
Right.
One more. Francie Aguilar Sizemore said, "Saw you at the Honeywell in Wabash, Indiana. Instant fan. Not sure which John he's talking about."
I don't think I've ever been at the Honeywell.
Okay,
that seems like a place you'd remember.
That was me.
That seems like, yeah.
And now that's what we did. We just read comments from last week. So leave comments today, and we'll read them next week. Right, John?
It's exactly what happens.
All right. How you
Shout
doing?
out to everyone who came out to Asheville,
Oh.
Wisconsin last week. Good shows. Skyline Comedy Club.
No. Did you say Asheville?
Oh, that's in North Carolina.
Right, yeah.
I
You
meant
meant to say Appleton.
Appleton.
Yes, got you. Appleton,
yeah,
Wisconsin.
because you're somewhere in Asheville. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, how was that? I mean, that was last week. When's your next gig?
This weekend I will be in Spokane and then Oklahoma City. Then I'm in Detroit. So those people who are in the Detroit area, I'm at the Comedy Castle, and those tickets always sell out. But the club was good because they didn't serve food. They
Right.
So
That's
it
right.
had hot pretzels. That's
remember
all
that.
you could get. So
You
it's
talked
good.
about that. I do remember that now.
So there you
Good to hear. So should we get right to these stories?
go. I got a lot. Yeah.
Which one do you want to get into first? You want to get into what we teased the audience with last week?
Yeah, because you know more about that story, and I briefly. I just put chapstick on. You think that I'd be able to briefly looked over it, but then I'm learning there's some twists and turns. Not everything maybe as it seems.
Right.
Maybe.
Correct. We don't know. We weren't there. At the end of the day, John Heffron and Jon Reep were not on the cruise ship. We were not in that room. We really don't know what happened. We have to take other people's words for it. But sometimes you can read through the lines if you study patterns of people and how they are. So let's check out this story, the Alan Jackson, if you want to pull it up. What happened was there was a white comedian who was doing a show on a Carnival cruise ship, and he allegedly used the N-word, and then on social media he got blasted, and then he actually got kicked off the cruise ship and is banned from the cruise ship. And let's scroll down. I'm going to read it from the screen, the Alan Jackson. That's a picture of him.
Doing a car bit? What do you think he's doing? Think he's doing
Right
a bit
there?
about a car? Like he's driving?
Yes.
And something happened to him right in front?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He's doing an old guy. It's an old man driving a VW Bug.
Or I'm high. Or I smoked too much, and then I got behind the wheel. That's a bit.
Yeah. And the light has been
he's doing.
green for an hour and a half, and
Yeah.
he's still sitting there.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what bit that is.
Yeah. Okay. Let's scroll, Alan, and I'll just give me time to read
I've never
it.
met this young fella.
I don't know him. Well, we haven't said his name yet. All we know is he's a white comedian. A white comedian who was fired after a clip surfaced of him using the N-word several times during his stand-up routine on a cruise ship. Now, I looked at some of this beforehand. I never saw the clip. There's not one clip that I've seen where he actually says the N-word. Just keep that in mind. TikTok user Pamela Frillot posted a since muted video, interesting, of Rob O'Reilly. That's the comedian's name, Rob O'Reilly, performing aboard a Carnival cruise ship with the caption, "Get me off this ship." Now, can we view that video? I mean, we can look at it to see if it's actually muted. I don't know if that's it.
That's not it. That's gonna be it, that you're gonna go to a dating app.
No, I think that was it, John, and
okay.
it had rewound itself.
I don't know. All these sites confuse you and just get you to click on crap you don't want to really click.
I know. Let's hit that one out. Here we go. So here it is. Now that's a comedian on stage. It's he's telling jokes. There's a crowd. It says, it went away. Play it and pause it. Give me time to read that. Okay. So on Carnival Cruise right now. I can't. All right.
Okay.
I hate TikTok so much.
On Carnival Cruise right now, someone who used the N-word multiple times in a show and the issue was raised, and
yeah. All right. So basically, if you're at home listening to this, what we're looking at is just a video of a guy on stage with a microphone. We can't hear anything because it's been muted. All right. Now let's keep scrolling. The Alan Jackson. And all right. So there was a line there I'm going to read right there. Frilot. How do you pronounce that? Frilot.
Frilot. Yeah.
Frilot later elaborated on what happened during O'Reilly's set. So now this is her video the following day, answering people's questions about the video she posted the night before. Now let's watch this one. This one has audio.
Morning. I just woke up from the craziness of last night, and as I'm going through you guys' comments on the video, there are two questions that keep coming up, and I wanted to step on and address those two questions. And the two questions are, where's the video of him actually saying the N-word? And then the second question is, what is the name of the comedian? Also, sorry for the late response. I'm currently still on the cruise.
So humble brag.
The service is not the greatest. So anyway, for the first question, so if you're familiar with comedy shows and stuff, when you arrive, they're like, oh, be sure to put your phone away and don't record anything, because that way they can, like, reuse the same stuff or whatever the case is. But you're not supposed to record anything at the comedy show. So of course we go in and we didn't record anything.
She thinks that's why.
So then, as the show was going on, at some point, he just casually says the N-word. So then I'm looking at my friend like, wait, am I tripping, or did he just say the N-word? So in the middle of us doubting ourselves, trying to figure out, did he just say the N-word? In the middle of us trying to figure out if he said it or not, he goes ahead and just says it again casually. And I'm like, oh, he did actually say it. So that's why there's no video, because it's like, you're not supposed to record. So we weren't recording until he said it. And then I was like, okay. And then that's when we started recording. So yeah, and as you saw his reaction after somebody said something. So somebody was like, hey, can you not use that word? And he didn't. His response to it wasn't even great. And you guys saw the video of him telling us we can go ahead and get out. And then the second question is, what is the comedian's name? The comedian's name is Rob O'Reilly. That's the comedian's name. His name is Rob O'Reilly. Yeah, so that's it for me.
Okay. So if we scroll down a little bit more, John, first let me get John Heffron's reaction. All right, let's go right there. Oh, go back. There's some additional information. Right there.
All these comics apologizing for using the N-word. I've never came close. Right. I've never once in my brain have been on stage where I thought, be a good word to say right now.
Yeah, right.
I've never once thought of a bit where I've thought, it'd be good to put in this bit right now is this word.
I've gone out of my way to not use other words that sound similar. Like I don't say vinegar.
I just don't get it.
But what's Arnold the weightlifter's last name? Arnold, the big weightlifter, governor of California.
I won't even try to say it.
Right?
No, Rob won't even try to say it.
So we're very aware, you and I, that this is a very sensitive word.
It even came up, and we never get press. How about the comics? How about that for on Monday? How about people post, hey, I saw this comic, and you know what? Everybody just had a good time. Yeah. No, nobody, he didn't,
Do you know this? Are you familiar with this comedian at all? Have you heard his name ever?
No, I know nothing about him.
Okay. Well, apparently he's kind of known.
I don't know if he sounds like a good business guy. If I was doing a cruise ship, that kind of means you're really not really working a lot of clubs, and cruise ships are like a corporate event where I would imagine you have to be a little bit safer, even more than normal.
That's what I was going to say. He's kind of known for being not offensive, but like a rebel rouser a little bit. You know, he likes to stir the pot, but he's also a kind of a nerdy comedian, not a cruise ship comedian. He's not a cruise ship comedian. The ones who do them all the time need to be pretty safe. They got to be PG-13ish. They got to be, I'm not saying you had to be corny. I'm just saying you cannot be the kind of guy who's taking risks on a cruise ship. Yeah. Right? You got to go up there and give them the hits that are solid and family-ish.
Smile. And smile a lot. And so especially for this guy he's probably making $1,200 for each shows. So
additional footage shows O'Reilly telling those offended by him to leave, Additional footage shows O'Reilly telling those offended by him to leave, supporting Frillett's account of what she witnessed. His remarks were evidently met with a rousing ovation from the crowd, which wasn't allowed to record his set. Now, what you're going to see here in a minute is the crowd is on his side when he tells people who are offended to just leave. So in this video, this is where it gets confusing for me, John, because, you know, I'm not sure if he actually said anything offensive. I'm not sure. I've not seen anything. I've only heard her account of it. And when you watch this one, you're going to hear the crowds are kind of on his side when he's saying, just get out of here. Was there any text above that I missed reading? I'm just curious if there's anything. Yeah, here he is telling people that were offended to get the F out, and then the audience cheered. Right, and this is a different person's Twitter account or TikTok.
Okay,
right, let's watch this one.
Let's hear this.
Do you remember the whole thing about if you're easily offended, get the fuck out?
Love when comics do that.
I'll be like, here's the thing. I'm sorry I offended you, okay, but the fact that you are clearly sensitive means you should just leave. Just leave.
And listen, the crowd's saying, yes, get out of here. So in that moment, I'm thinking, well, was it as bad as what she thought? If the entire crowd is on his side, it sounds like he didn't mess up that bad, which means I don't know if he said it.
Well, okay, there's a couple factors without knowing anything that are here. It depends who was on the cruise. If it's a certain group and you say the N-word and then somebody gets mad at it and leaves, they're going to cheer that.
Correct. You're going to find out it's mostly a black crowd.
Yeah.
Well, according to the text, but we'll go on and read it. But I know what you're saying. If it's an all white crowd,
If it's all white crowd, if it's
that's good.
So I'm just confused on why he would use it and then tell people to leave after you use the word like that. That to me,
which makes me think maybe he didn't say it. Which makes me think maybe he didn't say it. Maybe and she said in her video, like, we weren't sure if he said it. We were trying to figure out, did he say it? And then she said he casually said it. Or did he? No one knows. We're taking her word. Now, here's more. TMZ reported Carnival has canceled O'Reilly's remaining performances on its cruise ships and banned him from boarding its vessels moving forward. The news of O'Reilly getting metaphorically thrown overboard led to people unearthing old tweets that were disrespectful in poor taste.
Let's read the tweets.
Unfunny.
Well, let's read the tweets, and then we'll see. This will really tell us.
This is brought to us by Chris Evans.
I see four words right now that are probably trouble without even reading. I just saw the word HIV.
I read all of these already, and they're not good.
Did you know one?
Are we allowed to read these? Are we allowed to quote?
No, because you can't read those because then you're saying them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Then they can take you reading something and then said that you said it.
Right. So I'm not going to read it.
So if you
I will say it is about race. It's about race.
I'll hum it. Want me to hum it?
Well, how about you read it and then take out the words that you think might be
No, I don't want to touch any of that. I'll just hum the first one.
Okay.
And then you put your hands like this, like, did I say that? Forgive me.
Yeah. That tweet was written by him in 2013, by the way. Okay, so we're going way back. I'm just saying they're digging into this comedian's past before maybe he was actually knew what he was doing.
Okay, so
it was a different time.
One, the second one.
Oh, so you can't even hum that, dude. All right, let's
Okay.
move on. So
said
he's
it.
got 4
That's
sort
horrible.
of bad racial sort of
That's
tweets.
like somebody like that would be like you know, Ari Shafir grabbing Bert Kreischer's Twitter and tweeting the worst thing you could tweet just because he left his phone open. Do you know what I mean? Like those are that bad.
Yeah, they're that bad.
That you're purposely saying that just to get the person who left their phone open in trouble.
Right. Well, I'm going to keep reading this. There's more here. Carnival replied to the above tweet writing, "We do not tolerate this language or behavior. The person in question is no longer welcome on Carnival cruise ships, and the rest of his scheduled appearances have been canceled. The company has not otherwise posted on its feed about the incident or issued a press statement at this time." O'Reilly's Twitter account has since been deleted. His YouTube channel contains videos like "Nerdy Comedian Answers Heckler's Phone, Wins Over Black Crowd." That's one video. Another one, "If Spider-Man Were Black." And another one, "Racist Oscars." So I thought, all right, I need to go look at this dude. I need to judge for myself. Is he a bad guy? What's going on? Does he think he's a edgy sort of comedian and we're going to... But when I went to his YouTube page, I noticed that he posted his version of what happened.
Okay, let's do this.
And you can hear it. And
before we talk about how I could guess what his adult site history, I could guess what he looks up the most. He seems obsessed. Okay.
Switch and save $652.
First, real quick, Liberty Mutual,
It's
everybody.
okay. There's enough for
Liberty
everyone.
Mutual.
My favorite one is the actor one. Where he's like, "I'm an inspired actor." Bibbidi Mutual. I don't know what that one gets me to laugh every time. Okay.
Accused of making a racist joke on a Carnival cruise. Here are some facts that have been conveniently left out of any report on what actually happened. About 75% of the audience was black. Only maybe 10% was Caucasian. The theater held around 300 people. The host went up before the R-rated show and told them, "If you're someone who's easily offended, get the fuck out now." 10 minutes into my 30-minute show, I told a non-racist joke. 99% of the predominantly black audience laughed. The other 1%, Pamela and her friend, were sitting in the very back of the theater where they probably couldn't hear very well. They began heckling, yelling things like, "You're a racist." The audience responded no to that heckle. A black man even yelled, "Get the fuck out." Another yelled, "Bitch has fleas," which was a callback. Everyone laughed, except Pamela probably. I didn't use the N-word multiple times. I also technically never told Pamela to get the fuck out. I first apologized to the hecklers for offending them, and then I referenced the host of the show, who set up the show again by saying, "If you're easily offended, get the fuck out." I said, "Do you remember that whole thing about if you're easily offended, get the fuck out?" And the audience cheered. I then told the two hecklers that they clearly weren't enjoying the show. Again, we're 10 minutes in. So they should just leave. And they were at that point ruining the show for the 99% of the audience that was enjoying it. The crowd applauded as they left. The news media did not fact-check any reporting. In fact, only one journalist out of about 25 or so people who commented on reported this asked me for a comment. Many did not use the word allegedly. Some even said that they had a video of me saying the N-word, which is not true. I don't think modern online journalists care about the truth. I think they care about clickbait. I didn't initially respond because I figured this would just go away if I didn't respond. Instead, it grew in popularity. I have received hundreds of messages from people who weren't at the show and are making vicious personal attacks on me. One even talked about my dead brother. Others were talking about my 1-year-old daughter. I deleted my social media to get away from it. And I technically didn't get fired from Carnival because of what I said on stage. I got fired because of those hecklers that complained about what I said on stage. I feel strongly that when someone goes to a comedy show, there's an implicit contract between the audience and the comedian. The comedian is allowed to say something they would never be able to say in polite conversation in pursuit of something funny. And that contract is broken when the offended individual or someone who thinks that they're supposed to be offended posts online a line that they heard in the show out of context, because then the comedians can't take risks. And if they can't take risks, the overall comedy is going to suffer. Just look at what's happened to TV and movies. People don't take risks anymore, and there hasn't been anything funny since The Office. I wrote a script that is politically incorrect, and I had to shoot it myself because I was told that it couldn't work in the current climate. I'll include a link to that. If you're someone who likes irreverent comedy, you should check it out. My tweets from over a decade, which were brought up, yeah, I agree. They're not funny. They were not an attempt at racism. They were an attempt at comedy, an attempt that failed because I was stupid. I was in my early 20s.
You're a racist from 1930.
Early 20s are stupid, and I hope that someday these woke PC police people realize that they're being stupid right now.
All right. Now, what do you think, Jon?
Just hit pause. There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
First, I want to know about how Jenna Aniston removes her makeup. So after this, I'm hoping that we can hopefully we can get to that. He should have did the video of himself. I didn't know. I got lost with him reading, and then he was reading off the teleprompter, but he was going off script. Yeah. So that kind of lost it. Yeah. But I did not know that if the host said that.
Right.
First off, I would be pissed if a host got in front of me and said, "If you're offended, get the fuck out." On one of my shows, the host would be the first person I grab to go, "Hey, nice tone you set for the crowd. How about this? Nobody says anything offensive. Nobody gets kicked out." That's how I run my show, but that's why I don't have a lot of followers, right? Because I'm not edgy. So from what I'm hearing from that though, is he didn't actually say the N-word.
That's what he's saying, but again, those are his words. So we just have to trust one person over another. It sounded to me, and I'm judging the crowd. The crowd is more than that one person versus that one person. It's 300 people, and it sounded like they were on his side.
Yeah,
I'm going to err on the side of that and say I think he probably didn't actually say that word, but maybe he said something that sounded like that word.
And the girls, maybe this is just a scenario, weren't paying attention. Right. Were checking in every once in a while and thought he said something, but didn't hear the whole thing.
Because that crowd, I think what happened was, and he admits in this video, the apology video, where he's saying, I did say a sort of racial joke, not using the N-word, but a joke about race. And the crowd liked it, but and that girl looks pretty young, and younger people in their 20s today, with the way they've been brought up lately and raised and what's going on in the zeitgeist of the world, if a white guy is making a joke about race, they immediately kind of get pissed off and and they tune out, they don't listen, and they just call you a racist.
Yeah.
So as an old guy, that pisses me off because I kind of agree with him. You should be able to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Then again, it's a cruise ship. It's there's that.
Yeah.
But in general, as a comedian, I feel like you should be able to talk about whatever you want to talk about. But without trying to hurt
especially
people.
if it's like you're doing a cruise ship, they do have the dirty shows or R-rated shows where if I was to perform, I'd probably get in trouble because I'm not R-rated or I'm not dirty.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. Just in today's climate, I think you should be just as a comic smart, unless you want that backlash. He probably does. You know what I mean? He probably doesn't have all that money he's getting from XM. I'm not supposed to bring that up. But yeah, so that's interesting. Now the guy's hosed a little because now he's not doing his cruises.
Right.
And now it's enough press where he probably won't do any other cruise.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do is jump on that, there's a couple other tours where he could probably jump on.
There's one thing in the video that kind of I'm puzzled about. The video where he was apologizing or explaining his side of it, where it gets to the part, and when you're trying to read it, his words didn't match up with the words on the screen.
Yeah. And
he says, on the screen, the words say, "I did not use the N-word." But if you hear him say it, he's saying didn't, but the NT and didn't wasn't strong enough. And it almost sounds like he said, "I did use the N-word." So can we watch that one again, Alan, if you scroll back? And Jon, tell me, without reading the screen, maybe shut your eyes, and tell me if he says, "I did use the N-word" or "I did not use the N-word."
Black man even yelled, "Get the f*** out." Another yelled, "Bitch has fleas," which was a callback. Everyone laughed, except Pamela probably. I didn't use the N-word multiple times. I also technically never told Pamela to get the fuck out.
What do you think? I
Play it one more time.
N-word. I did use the N-word multiple times.
That's what it sounded like.
Which was a callback. Everyone laughed, except Pamela probably. I didn't use the N-word multiple times. I also
Now I'm hearing the NT a little bit more. It's close, isn't it? He should have said not. If you want to be clear, you say not. You don't use an abbreviation when you're trying to be clear.
If you would have used the N-word like he's saying that she got that mad and it was mostly African American in that crowd, they wouldn't have given him a free pass. He doesn't look cool enough. He's probably not funny enough. No offense, dude. Right? For 200 and some people, I don't know. I'm slang. To give him a free pass where they wouldn't be pissed at him.
Right. They would be pissed.
If he was a more famous, like Bill,
right.
If he's a Bill Burr, or I'm just trying to think somebody who people would go,
a big name where people already like him no matter what.
Yeah. If you're just in jeans and a polo shirt in front of 300 people that don't know you and you drop the N-bomb and it's mostly African American, I think you're in a world of hurt. So the fact that the crowd wasn't, unless it's edited weird, wasn't dead silent.
Yeah.
Maybe
he had them. He had them. They were on his side.
That's what I mean. So now I'm kind of swaying that I don't think he probably was talking about something, something racial. And so here's an example I have of what audiences hear versus what is said. Rachel Feinstein used to feature for me all the time, and she had this bit about she dated a black guy, and the bit was he wasn't like Timberland black guy. He was more of a Cosby black guy. This is before all the Cosby stuff,
right.
stuff. He was just showing an example, like she was dating like a nerdy black guy.
Right.
Was kind of the joke. And I heard it almost every night. I dated a Timberland black guy, not or a Cosby black guy. That's all she said. She dated a black guy. Mm-hmm. I got an email from a woman. It was like a full page long saying that I should choose my opening acts better. My act is clean. I should be careful who's in front of me because people who come to see me and want to see a clean act don't want to see somebody dirty. The woman and then she goes, I don't know if you listened. The woman in front of you talked about black penises, but she used the D word, her entire set. So so Rachel literally says, I dated a Cosby sweater black guy, not a Timberland. That's it. All this woman heard was black penis.
Right.
That's all that the image of her dating. She immediately got an image of a black dude naked, and then that's what she saw, and then that's what she emailed me to complain about, that Rachel was talking about that.
Right.
And I've seen the bit 700 times, and I even responded back going, say penis one time in her entire act.
Wow.
You didn't hear her say that. You didn't. So maybe that's what happened.
How can you change those people's minds if you showed her, like if you sat that woman down and said, look, I've got the whole thing videotaped that night, let's watch it together and you tell me where she said that, and then they don't watch it, and then what do they say? They'll say like, well, it just seemed I felt that way. Well, but how do you change they're already pre-wired that way, right? They come in with that sort of baggage, right?
You kind of have to, I think now, I mean, and then even if we start talking about the next thing, we don't have to move on to it. I'm not saying that. But as a comic now or a club, it almost seems like it's in your best interest to record every show regardless. Right. Not for anything, just for your own protection.
They do that in Levity Live.
Yeah, have it just send back. It's a horrible. It's like it looks like security footage. Sometimes you can get it and sometimes it's usable, but at least you could go, here's what happened. Yeah. Show me where I said that on that tape.
See, there could be Karens in all forms, man. Like everyone thinks of Karen as it has to be a white lady in her 50s. It doesn't. I think Karens can be any color, any age. And I think this story is more about the Karen who heard something that didn't happen. And now this poor guy, even if we don't think he's funny or not, is...
Well, I don't know, but then those tweets, though, the tweets don't help him.
The tweets did not help him. But then he admits it. But I do like that he admitted that was dumb. It was stupid. It was before I knew what funny was. I was trying to be edgy. Like, he kind of admits it.
Yeah, but no, I'm just playing. Do you think he evolved that much? Do you think comics have this big evolving where his material switched now so far away from that? If that's what he thought was funny, do you think he jumped some bridge?
Know.
I'm pretty sure it's probably close.
Well, that's 11 years ago. Were you the same guy you were 11 years ago? I don't know.
I still do the same act. No, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about act. Just your everything about you, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting. So
it's a weird time for...
Be careful out there. You don't want... Just be careful. I'm telling other comedians, be careful. Also, be careful if people throw beer at you. That could happen.
Yeah, we sure got Pescatelli on for this podcast to talk about this.
Should we go over that one, John Heffron?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's roll into it. So I don't know much about this other than the video. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, so I guess I'll do the setup. I don't even know her name. She was just on CNN. Let me try to...
Oh, here's the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can read it if you want me to sort of just glance over it and read it here. Yeah, a comedian has gone viral for downing a beer that had just been thrown at her head at a New Jersey club after an apparent Donald Trump supporting heckler demanded to know who she voted for. Her name is Ariel Elias. Ariel.
At the Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club, and I don't know. I thought we were tag teaming
it. Go ahead.
That was weird. It's like we're news anchors, and you take it. Thanks, John. Yeah, Ariel Elias was at the Uncle Vinny's in Port Pleasant Beach, described into chaos Saturday night after an unidentified woman in the crowd started shouting about politics.
Yeah, there's footage of the beer.
This one you kind of don't need to set up.
Let's watch it and get into it.
Yeah.
All right, here we are. She's on stage. She's at Vinny's, and let's figure this out.
What's your question? Did you vote for Donald Trump? Did I vote for Donald Trump? What do you think? No. Okay. Here's a question for you. Why would you ask me that in here, knowing I'm the only Jew in this room? Are you trying to get me killed? If it makes you feel any better, I vote in New York. My vote doesn't matter there. It doesn't matter here either. It doesn't matter, guys. Everybody vote for whoever you want to vote. I don't care who you voted for. I'm just happy we're all here together.
So you voted for Biden.
I don't know. Why does it matter? Yeah, so what? Why does it matter?
I can just tell by your jokes you voted for Biden.
Why are we talking about politics? I can tell by the fact that you're still talking when nobody wants you to that you voted for Trump.
That's hilarious.
That's actually a really good comeback in this moment.
Nope. Yes, don't understand me to stop.
All right, make some noise if you want her to shut up.
Boom.
Now watch this, baby. You can't handle
I
it.
did ask if anybody had any questions. I didn't think it was going to be... That's on me. That was on me for thinking I could have a human interaction with somebody.
That's funny. She's handling you well.
I'm such an insecure person. Here, I'll tell you the rest of that bit, and then we'll move on. I'm so insecure. I went and got an IUD.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a big beer. I mean, that sounded like a tall boy.
Yeah. Yeah, drink that. Look at
Boom.
her.
Drink
that. I would have smashed. Oh, dude.
Well, first of all,
look at I'm holding a lockpick right here, and I just got so mad watching that. I found myself just like
couple things. I'll start off.
Yeah.
That's a big can of beer. I don't know many comedy clubs that just hand you a tall boy within the can. Normally,
and that was full too. That means that
full.
was
It was at least
it was like
half
it was
full.
almost frozen a little.
Yeah. And it hit that wall pretty hard.
Yeah.
Froth went everywhere.
Yeah.
And then great move picking it up and chugging it. Hats off to her for even the comeback she did. I can tell by the way you're still talking and when no one asked you to that you voted for Trump. And then so that was a good slam. And then her admitting that, well, I actually did ask for questions, so a little bit it's on me. you know,
She did
she's
perfect.
handling all of it well.
Yeah, and then tries to move on. Doesn't sit there and rip on the little baby.
Yeah.
Who had a little tantrum.
The only thing that threw me
temper
off
tantrum.
in the beginning is when she said, "Why would you ask me that knowing I'm the only Jew in the room?" That implies that there's not one Jewish person in America that voted for Trump. Which
Yeah, I
there
think it's
probably
maybe
are.
a go-to. Like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
the-
just her. Like, oh,
Yeah.
why would you? You know,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's
But other
funny
than
like
that,
how-
I'm like, okay, I'm down with her.
It's
She's-
funny like that how hecklers and that woman who tossed that they like to start shit and they think they can dictate what you're saying from the stage, but the second they don't know how to handle comics talking back to them. Like
Right.
it's easy to say something, but for 33 years we've had people talk to us like that. So
Right.
we have a pretty strong wall where we can go into and start talking, but most people in the crowd have never had anybody have their ass handed to them or had 400 people laugh at them because
Right,
they're
right.
low watt, dumb human beings.
Right.
Now, seeing that thing, here's what I would do because it happened to Pescatelli, Tammy. The lady threw a glass of wine and then it broke.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly thinking, what would happen in this situation? Now, that was a woman, right? If that was a guy, I hope five. A lot of clubs don't have. So he would have one choked him out, beat him a little bit on the ground, and then dragged him outside, and then beat him more, then called the cops. The woman who threw that. This is why I think that comedy clubs should have female door people. Should have ripped her, just grabbed that head and yanked her right out of there just as fast. I would have leaned into that. And then if I was her, I was as many charges that you can put against somebody trying to hurt you like that, I would, just to make their life difficult. I'd be like, I can't go on stage. I have PTSD. I'm afraid to go on stage, so I can't make an income. So now I'm suing because she can't. You as a comic, dude, can't do anything in that situation.
Right.
If that happened to you and you got off stage and you started pounding the guy, right? Everybody around you who you're fighting is going to sue you. That's where it gets shitty.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
Right.
But you're not. What would you do if that was a guy that tossed that?
If that were me, if I'm the comedian and a guy did that,
Yeah.
well, I hope that I would do what she did, which is a cool move, which shows that like you're cool, you're calm, nothing bothers you. She picked it up. And then I would look for the person who did it, and I would wonder, is the staff handling this person? Are they taking care of them? Are they getting rid of them? If they're not, then I might attempt it myself, depending on the size of the human. If it's like a big dude,
The whole crowd would be on your side, though.
they would be on my side. And I've had a couple instances where I've, and again, the crowd is on her side. Usually the comedian isn't starting to just pick on one person at random. It's usually one person at random in the crowd starting something with the comedian.
Yeah,
and so
Marjorie
when that
Taylor
happens,
Greene
the crowd's
there,
on the comedian's side because, hey, I was doing a thing here.
Especially when that whole crowd, even like whatever side you're on, they're like, she wasn't even talking about politics.
Right.
Why are you asking who she voted for?
Yeah, I know.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
That lady come in there looking for a fight.
That's dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, can you, were there comments under that? I wonder what happened to that person.
Yeah, let's
She
go
was
back to
arrested,
the article,
if
Alan. And maybe
charges were put against her, or was she beaten in the parking lot?
I will read some of the comments at the
I'm okay
bottom
with
here.
all of that.
Yeah, here it is. A huge round of applause broke out when the comedian hit back saying, "I can tell by the fact that you're still talking when nobody wants you to that you voted for Trump." Moments later, a man who was allegedly sitting with the heckler launched the beer. It was a man who threw the beer.
Yeah.
Moments later, a man who was allegedly sitting with the heckler launched the beer at the comedian. The footage shows the can narrowly missing the comedian and splattering against the wall behind her. The audience members immediately erupt, shouting, "Oh my God," and "You are effing kidding me." Meanwhile, a visibly shocked female, Elias, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, could be seen reaching down, picking up the can, and downing the rest of the crowd cheered on. At first, I was in shock. Did that just really happen? She told BuzzFeed, and then I saw the beer can and was like, I mean, I have to drink it. Like there's nothing else I can do right now. The only thing I can do is just to drink it, which is a good move. And then let's see what it says at the end if there's any kind of what happens. The club's owner said the woman and her beer-throwing partner quickly left the venue, but he contacted police after managing to identify them. The Point Pleasant Beach Police Department is reviewing the surveillance footage after the comedian said he wanted...
Well, she wanted
to press charges. In the wake of the ordeal, a number of high-profile comedians tweeted their support for her, including Jimmy Kimmel, who said 5 stars to that flawless performance. Yeah, she's pretty too. Look at that. Is that
if you scroll back up? Sorry. Here's what I would do though, just as a comedy club. I know it's Uncle Vinny's and we get it, but I wouldn't have bullet holes on the wall behind where you perform, and that's mentally telling everybody.
I'm just now seeing that.
That's mentally telling everybody you should take shots.
100%.
At the thing.
I make it so dumb.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that. But you could, yeah.
All right, let's scroll back down. I want to read the very last thing.
I hope she does.
She said, for all y'all who want to make fun of comics for saying we didn't sign up to be physically attacked and put on a pedestal, take a peekaboo. Something you're a class act, said Whitney Cummings. That said that. Okay. So, yeah. Patton Oswalt also chimed in, tweeting Ariel wasn't even doing political material. The drunk heckler was craving whatever MAGA energy craves.
Yeah,
grievance and revenge, and they'll alter the reality before their eyes to get it. You sound like you voted for Biden. Yeah, exactly. That person didn't like her jokes. They probably had I don't know what she was talking about before. It doesn't matter what she was talking about.
You could guess that's it. Yeah, it was probably you know what I mean? The dude who threw it, I guarantee you, was wearing jeans from the buckle.
Thick stitches?
Thick stitches going down the side with those weird emblem on the butt.
Yeah.
He was wearing buckle, and then he had like a short sleeve,
really tight shirt.
And probably a shell necklace.
Was he wearing Crocs? Tevas?
He was.
No, what was he wearing? Shoes wise.
What type of shoes does probably a wife beater you wear?
He might have like a boot, like a work boot. I don't know. Who knows? Be careful. Let's not say the N word. Let's not go to Uncle Vinny's unless you. Have you been to that club before?
Never been. I don't know, but it's all we're gonna start to have to perform like in Roadhouse. Remember when the chicken wire and glasses busted? They need Dalton. We need the comedy club version of Dalton to show up at some of these places.
That might be a good move. I mean, what if, John, when we do shows together for fun, because we got shows. We're doing a cruise ship next year, November 2023, November 5 through 11. No N-word comedy cruise, the Sea Amigos. I hope that's not cultural appropriation. But it's 7 days. Me, you, and Reno Collier. We're going to from Port Canaveral, Coco Cay, Cozumel, Mexico, Roatan, Honduras, Costa Maya, Mexico. Comedy, karaoke, podcast. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be very happy and nice. But yeah, what if we did a routine, John, where maybe we hired, and it would be a funny person. Possibly Brent Blakeney could do this. We dress Brent Blakeney up like a bouncer, kind of a dude, who just physically stands next to us on the stage. We already have a red velvet rope on the stage. He walks us up there, right?
Yeah.
Like how boxers are walked into the ring, where they got a bunch of people and there's music and there's a crowd around them protecting them from the crowd. Like he's got their own handlers or whatever. And then they walk us up there, open the red velvet rope, let us in, buckle it back, and just stands there with glasses on and stares at the crowd.
I've had that happen. Have you ever done the old Funny Bone in Cincinnati when it was on the water? There's that biker dude. He was in a bike gang, and he had a leather jacket. He had a biker whatever vest,
Yeah.
and he would walk you like that.
Oh, that's
and you'd
awesome.
walk on stage, and then it was so embarrassing because you're getting escorted, and then I'm on stage. Hey, remember Mom haircuts? And then he would lay against the wall or stand just against the wall, dead, just like no laughter, and just would stare.
It does mess up your set. You know, if people are looking at that guy for, is he laughing? Well, must not be funny, so I better not laugh too. We would have to incorporate it into the set. You know what I mean? We would have to have jokes about it and banter back and forth. Or you do the opposite of that. What do you think of this, John? We are the new style comedians where we actually perform in a dunk tank booth. And if you want to throw stuff, you know,
you got to hit it. People
you got to use. You got to come up here with $5. We'll give you 5 beer cans, and you can, if you hit the target, you know, we'll drop.
I hope she presses charges. I hope that girl presses charges against that guy. You can't go through life literally chucking a, well, how much did that beer weigh and the speed that he threw it? Probably it was pretty fast. If that would have hit her, that could have hurt her. I hope she presses as many, only so that guy has to lawyer up and spend. Well, he probably makes $8 an hour, so he has to spend most of his money defending himself for being such an asshole and throwing a can of beer.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed. Well, good. But I'm kudos. Well, I'm happy for her now because everyone's talking about her.
5 million hits, 5 million views. I've never done anything.
5 million.
5 million.
Should we create something like this?
I thought about doing something last week but I didn't have the guts. I was going to ask somebody in the front row where we're going to have a heckler thing, but we were really nice to each other. So the heckler's like, hey, you did. I really appreciate you. Like, thank you. I really appreciate you coming out. And it's like that. And then you just, you clickbait it, something like that. Yeah.
That's funny. TJ Miller, you know him?
Yeah.
He has a new thing out right now on YouTube that he recorded at Zany's in Nashville called Dear Jonah. And I heard him talking about it. He was going to call it the quarantine special or the COVID special because it was all about that. But instead, there was a guy on the front row named Jonah who basically took over the set, and it turned out that he was a special needs guy. And so, you can't really make fun of a special needs guy. And so the way that TJ Miller handled it is basically the whole special. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard him talk about it.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's happened to me before. I was doing a gig at a casino, and you know how casino crowds are? They're not your fans. They're just people who lost a bunch of money and they got comped tickets for a show, or maybe they won a bunch of money. They got comped tickets for a show. They're just wandering there. And there was and I was doing a segment about dancing or something. And as I'm doing this bit, I forgot what the bit was, but it involved music or something. Maybe I was singing, but I saw this person, and at this point I didn't know they were special needs. I just saw a person stand up and start coming up through the aisles and was coming on the stage. And I also saw someone trying to grab that person, like, Jesse, no, Jesse, no. Oh, like they got away. And I'm thinking, oh, wow. And this person comes on stage and wants to sing with me. And as soon as they got on stage, I realized,
okay, yeah.
And then, luckily I was almost finished. And I said, do you want to sing? And she's like, yeah. And I just gave the mic and let them sing. And then by that point, the mom had come up and grabbed the special needs person. And I said, and that's how you close a show. Good night. And I left it. And they were all clapping for it. It was a good moment. But I got lucky that it happened at the end,
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, John Heffron, this has been a fun show.
Yes, everybody. Here. Let's play this. Don't forget to check out heffronandreep.com. Has all our dates. We have a bunch of dates coming up. So check that out. See if we're in your area. Yeah.
That's it. Just go to heffronandreep.com and join up, sign up, come see us, and we will see you next week, same time. We'll read your comments down here. We'll read them next week. All right? Bye.
Don't throw stuff. Don't say the N-word.
Be nice.